Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ruben and I'm doing a series from my private pilot license all the way until my commercial rating, showing you guys the ups and the downs and all the hurdles and everything I have to go through to get all these ratings. I just passed my instrument check ride, super grateful, super happy about the whole experience. I passed my first try, so obviously that's great. I'm gonna look here because I have my iPad with all my notes. But yes, for those of you guys new here, I'm a private pilot that is now instrument rated. I also run a modern aviation apparel brand called Global Flight Club. If you're interested in picking something up like this, I'm going to leave a link down below at globalflightclub.com. Ultimately, it's there to motivate you guys, to inspire anybody that's in aviation. But yeah, if you're working on your instrument rating, you're in the right place. I just passed my check ride about a week ago. I'm going to give you guys tips on how to study, what I had to go through, and pretty much just taking you from the beginning of my check ride all the way until the end of the check ride. And hopefully you guys can take something away from this video that can help you guys. Alrighty, so let's get into instrument training as a whole. How long did it take? What do I fly? It took me about 120 hours and about 9 months. I also do my training in a Piper Cherokee here out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I work while doing it, so I feel like during my training it was a lot of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So I feel like that's why it took a little bit longer, but super grateful. I don't even care how long it took. I'm just happy it's done. So the oral part of the check ride took about 2 hours, and the flight portion took about 1.9 hours, so about 2 hours each. This is the same GPE that I did my private with, and that's really, if you're able to obviously do that, because you're going to build a reputation with the DPE, and he's going to understand on how the way you obviously deliver the answers and things like that. For the flight portion, I'm going to put everything on the screen of the approaches that I did. I did all my approaches. Not all my approaches, but I did 2 of them into Casa Grande. I did the RNAV approach, literally used autopilot for the whole approach, pretty much for the whole approach. At the final approach fix, I hand flew it. And then I did the localizer, and what's crazy is I've never done just the localizer approach. I'm going to put that on the screen too so you guys get a perspective. So I went off of the localizer minimums. I didn't do the ILS/localizer. It was just the localizer. And obviously that's going to be an MDA, so you level off and then you go missed at the runway. And then I came back into Scottsdale, did the VOR DME Alpha. That one was a circling approach, and I did that one partial panel. Super well. I think I flew all of them very, very well. The RNAV one, I almost went full deflection, but I didn't. I caught it right before, so super grateful about that. But yeah, that's how the check ride went. Went super, super well. I want to talk to you guys about how you can study for the check ride. Obviously everybody has their own way of studying for a check ride, whether that's flashcards, whether that's mock orals, whether that's you just reading out of a book. I have a buddy at school, and he literally, the second he reads it, it's like drilled in his mind. I'm completely opposite. I could read it like 10 times and it's still not even stuck in my brain. I have to go through flashcards, and that's the way I study best. But I want to give you guys some tips on how I prepped for my check ride, hoping that you're now on instrument and maybe you're close to a check ride, but hopefully these tips can help you out. So first thing, obviously, you gotta read the ACS. You gotta go through the ACS. What I did is all the codes that I miss on my written, I highlighted them and I put some notes. What else I've seen people do, which was super smart, is they'll put the FAR aim, like where they could find it in the FAR aim. That way they can kind of reference back to it. But yeah, obviously read the ACS. Biggest tip right here is obviously Pilot's Cafe. Highlight the crap out of this thing. Everything in here is free game. Like, bro, like, so I work in the medical field, and literally between patients, let's say I had like an hour gap or 30-minute gap, I would literally have this in front of me and just like read through it a little bit. You know, that like the more you see this, the better you're gonna memorize it. Or yeah, the more you see it, obviously, the better. Um, yeah, so obviously going through Pilot's Cafe, if you're just getting started on your instrument, print this out and just highlight all the key spots. So, like I was saying, I study best with flashcards, and this is how many flashcards it took me to get through instrument rated flashcards. Um, it's a lot, and you got to think about it like it's private knowledge and instrument knowledge. So it's not just like, oh, I could forget everything that I forgot that I did in private. No, it's everything. You're a private pilot that is now instrument rated. So you're obviously required to know everything, and everything that was asked in private is free game for instrument. But yeah, I'm actually gonna make a video next week going through all these flashcards. So if you are on your instrument training, I would highly, highly suggest you watching next week's video, because I'm gonna go through all of these flashcards, and it took me a hot minute to make all of them. So hopefully it's gonna help you guys out if you guys learn best off of flashcards. Another key factor in obviously studying for instrument is using your resources. Get your instructor's number. Maybe if you can't get your instructor's number because the school doesn't allow it, write in your notes. If you go through my phone's notes, I literally have like 20. Every time I went into the office, I had like maybe 20 to 15 questions. Just because, especially the closer you get to the Checkride, it seems like the less you know, because more questions and more questions pop up in your mind. But yeah, use your resources. Use YouTube. Use every resource that you can. Every book. Use your school's book. Use this book. Honestly, I didn't use this at all, but I know people that did and passed their Checkride easy, because all of these questions, this is actually written by the DPE, so anything in here, they're allowed to ask. Also, another thing that I did that I feel like really helped me was, I should have done this during private, and if you're obviously in your private, definitely do this. Buy these tabs off of Amazon. I put all my emergency checklists in there, so that way, let's say you're flying and he gives you a lost comm situation, like you're already tabbed out, boom, you know? Prep, you know? Preparation is so key into these Checkrides. Speaking of preparation, on my knee board, I actually wrote down like just key points that I want to make sure I don't forget. For instance, like connecting my iPad onto the GPS, or checking for RAM and WAS, cross-checking your instruments. I also wrote my AABBCC, so getting your ATIS, altimeter, build the approach, brief the approach, checklist, and then communicate. And I put over here timer, so to start my timer. Yeah, prep, and don't be over prepare for your Checkride, for sure. Although you might be like, oh, like you're writing all that stuff down, like DP might think like you're literally spoon feeding yourself, but it doesn't matter. Like, prepare yourself, because he's gonna appreciate that. Also, okay, your FAR aim. So you could buy these tabs off of Amazon. I hate these. Like, this is, you're not fun. If you're looking for lost comm situation, or if you're looking for 91, 175, when to descend past your DA or MDA, no shot you're finding it with this. Make your own tabs. You know, I probably have like 15 right here, but it's the ones that I need to know. I have currency, alternate airports, DA, MDA, VOR checks, service volumes. Yeah, just do your own tabs, because especially when you're doing the tab, you're gonna remember it even more of where it's at. But if you're just, I literally just stuck these on during my private stage, and I've never used these tabs ever, just because it's too cluttered. So yeah, highly suggest you getting tabs. Oh, and then for my last tips, I want to show you guys this. Getting this app was huge. So getting the Garmin app, the GPS app, for your Checkride, he's going to give you a craft clearance in the plane. And using this, where you can put in your craft clearance and practicing, like let's say even practice putting in the approaches onto your GPS. Having maybe a buddy come over and just giving you craft clearances and you getting in the habit of navigating through this GPS, this app is literally a hack. It's going to help you navigate doing your rain check, your wash check, just way easier. You could go through the motions before the Checkride. Highly suggest getting it. It's called GPS Trainer, Garmin. Also, another thing that I want to really put an emphasis on is in your documents on ForeFlight. I don't know how well you guys can see this. Yeah, you guys can see it. In your documents on ForeFlight, put everything in here. For instance, I got my mountainous areas right here. So if you were to ask where are the mountainous areas, boom. Have your chart supplement in here. Have everything highlighted. I have my VOR checks highlighted. Your service volumes right here. Just over prepare. And literally everything else. Our GPS. How do you know that you're able to use WAS? How do you know your WAS compatible? Yeah, for the G5. Also, oh, this was huge. This was literally huge. Let me show you guys. For instance, when you do the, when you go through the weather briefing, you'll get the surface analysis winds chart, or whatever the heck it's called. And for instance, I didn't know what one of the symbols was. It's like these weird things. And I didn't know what one of them was. And literally, I had this saved because I was like, bro, I do not know that crap, like, super well. So I saved all of them. I literally saved them off of Google. And yeah, you're using your resources. You're over-prepared. Prep. Also, yeah, any, like, symbology. Like, you don't know what something is called. Prep, because if you get in that room with the DPE for your oral and you don't know something, be able to know where to get it from. Also, a big emphasis that I want to put on is knowing lost comm situation and then knowing icing conditions. Can you fly into icing conditions? If you get into icing conditions, what do? That's one thing that my DPE was big on, and it seems like other DPEs are too. So I would suggest you putting a lot of focus on really knowing lost comm situation and icing. But yeah, ultimately, that's all the study tips that I use to pass my Checkride. Super happy, super grateful. My instructors helped me so much, and I had friends and that came over and just helped me a ton, man. This was one of the hardest things I've had to do in a really long time, and the reward, the feeling that you get when you pass these Checkrides, because it's ultimately like a 5-hour exam, it's unreal. And that hard work that you put in, like, nobody saw the 2-3 weeks that I was literally at my kitchen table every single day with notes and with everything scattered everywhere all over the table. And from the second I got home from work tonight, just studying. It's a grind, guys, and I hope that you guys see that, and it's worth it. It's most definitely worth it. I want to motivate you guys by, like it says on the back of the shirt, the distance between your dreams and reality is called action. And literally, you're going to hit some lows during your flight training, as well I did during my instrument. Definitely the lowest lows, where before that Checkride, you might break down a little bit. You might not think that you're ready. But every flight, every hour, every time you're going to that school, it might not seem like you're making progress, but you are. It might seem like a waste of time sometimes, that you're going there and you're not getting, let's say, holds down or the approach is down. But action. Action is, everything is based off of action, and you're not going to get to where you want to be unless you act upon your goals, unless you act upon your flight training. Keep on cooking those hours, bro. Keep on going doing those grounds, because eventually it's going to click. And it probably took like 3 or 4 months for me to finally understand, being forced to sit down in that simulator because I hate the simulator, and practice those maneuvers, practice the approaches, you know? Eventually it's gonna stick. I have an instructor, and he told me, he's like, dude, it's just a matter of time, because eventually you're gonna get it. Whether it takes you 6 months or a year, like, you're gonna get it. It just takes time, and it takes action. If you're on the verge of quitting or starting your training, take that step. You're not gonna regret it. You know, you got to plant that seed today to reap the reward of it, let's say a year or two from now. I started my training about a year and a half ago, and man, I'm only instrument rated. But yeah, I work a full-time job, you know, but it's okay. I'm chipping at this goal that I have. But what's most important is that you take action, because you're not going to gain any hours by you not doing anything, by you not taking action. Stay consistent and keep pushing forward. You're going to get there. And instrument rating is just another hill that you have to come across, and then the hills get a little bit smaller after that. Commercial seems like it's a lot easier than instrument and private. But yeah, I want to leave you guys with that. Yeah, if you guys want to pick up a shirt, globalflightclub.com. I'll leave the link down below. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe. I thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week with a flashcard video. Peace.